river linking or river interlinking or Nadi Jod Yojana. These terms have been in the popular mainstream media as well as all over social media recently in context of the Ken Betwa River Linking project. And while it is rightfully in the news because of forced displacement, displacement without adequate and proper compensation and rehabilitation of tribal communities of villagers who live in the areas affected by the construction of a large dam towards the Ken Betwa River Linking project, I think there are some deeper questions that we need to understand. There are some deeper things that we need to go into before we hopefully in the next few weeks understand the various components of a river linking project and in context of the Ken Betwa River Linking project. But let's go back to that first two words or the multiple phrases used to describe this project, which is river linking in English or Nadi Jod in Hindi. And for most people, in fact, for people who live alongside these rivers, who I have met while walking along these rivers, understand this as a two-way relationship where water from project A goes to project B or water from river A goes to rivers B and can also flow in the other direction. However, that is absolutely not true or very untrue. And that is something that's important to understand as you try to talk about these river linking projects, that essentially all river linking projects are water transfer projects. And for a lot of the river linking projects, they also have a component where hydropower may be generated. Now, what I wanted to do through this video is to remind everybody who is interfacing with this topic for the first time is that this is essentially a small or large or medium hydropower project or dam project which transfers water to another location. That's what all the projects as part of the river interlinking projects are, where you build a dam in one place, you store the water behind it, and then you transfer it to a different location. I'm not right now going into the merits of whether it is required for a certain place or not, but the first thing we need to understand is a river interlink or a Nadi Jod does not flow both ways. It's in the nature of water to go from higher elevation to lower elevation. And when you raise the height of water in one location to transport it to another location, you would have to spend a lot of energy if at all it had to come back in the reverse direction. So the first thing we have to remember is river interlinking projects are essentially a repackaging of small, medium, large hydropower projects or dam projects, making it palatable to a generation of people who may have heard that large dam projects are not necessarily very great for rivers, for the environment. And in the coming weeks, we will discuss in detail about the various components that one has to think of. The people, of course, who live there, who are getting displaced, but also environment, wildlife, and something that worries me a lot is that in this whole conversation, the river is absolutely absent. So how do we bring the river back into the conversation when we talk about river interlinking or Nadi Jod? So as you look at this project and the project reports coming up again and again, remember that the actual idea for these projects is to transfer water from location A or river A to river B. The mechanics of it, the mechanisms of it, what happens in the process of transferring the water is completely separate. And I'm not going into those merits in this video. One other thing is that this video is intended for people who've never engaged with this topic deeply. Maybe you are an expert and you know what's going to come next. But hopefully, this will help those who have not thought about it deeply, not thought about this topic deeply, understand this a little bit better. Thank you and see you in the next video.